This is a Remington 742 in 30-06 that I bought at auction. I like these guns along with the 740s, the 7600s, 760s. They're good guns. This one here's got a bit of a bad reputation for jamming issues, but a lot of the issues were improper cleaning. The 742 has a different bolt design than the 760 and the 7600. 7600 and 760 is a bit more reliable. It uses a 4-lug locking system on the bolt. This is the bolt for the 742. You can see it's got 9 locking lugs on it, and they created some problems inside of the receiver. The bolt actually goes here, and when it would slide back in the receiver and turn, it would cause some chatter marks inside the receiver, and after improper cleaning and long use, the bolt would go back and it would catch on the chatter marks that it left, causing it to lock open and jam. I'm going to try to show you inside the receiver here just so you can see what I mean by chatter marks. You probably can't see it real well, but right here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little chatter marks right along that edge, and it's almost like they're burred up. So what I do is I take a small stone and I hone those down flat again, and it cures the problem. Anyway, I got some plans for this gun. This one here actually has a 22-inch barrel, and I've got the gear. I've got the cutters, carbide cutters, and everything I need to cut the barrel down. I like a carbine length gun. I got a couple 7600 carbines and a 760. Anyway, we're going to take the front sight off this guy, and then I've actually already got the barrel marked right here. We're going to cut the barrel off right there with a hacksaw. Sounds pretty crude, I know, but that's how it's done. We're going to cut it there, and then we're going to use the Manson crowning kit to recrown the barrel at 18.5 inches, which is a carbine length, and then we will trim up the outside of the barrel. I don't plan on ever using the open sights on this. It'll be a scoped gun, so it'll allow us to mount the scope a little lower to the barrel. The rear sight on these 742 sticks up really high and causes you to have to use super high mounts to put a scope on this. So anyway, we're going to shorten that barrel up 18.5 inches, and that will give us what we need to get that scope lowered down on the barrel. I got the barrel clamped in the saw here. I used a thick piece of leather to hold the barrel down. I got it set on our mark for 18.5 inches right there. I'll try to film it while I'm cutting. We'll see how that goes. There it is. Got an 18.5 inch barrel. Now we're on to recrowning. So here's our cut off barrel. I got it put in the vise. We used a piece of thick leather to clamp it in the vise. So you can see, of course, the hacksaw is pretty rugged. It leaves burrs around the edges and whatnot. The Manson reamer muzzle crowning tool consists of this. So this is a pilot. It's got a brush on the end. This goes down into the bore. It actually has right there an expanding collet. So this goes down into the barrel like this. Shove it the whole way down. when this collet goes down into the barrel and you turn the top, it tightens and it expands the collet into the board, opens it up so that everything stays concentric with the bore. So we'll lube this up, we'll put some cutting oil on it, put it down into the bore. That slides down over like this. When we're cutting, we're going to put some cutting oil on the end of the barrel and on the tips of the cutters. Then we'll lower this assembly down. This is made to hook to a power tool, like a low-speed drill. So as this turns, the carbide cutters will reface the end of the barrel so it's perfectly flat. Once that step is done, we're going to replace this 90-degree cutter with an 11-degree cutter, which puts an 11-degree target crown on the end of the barrel. And then as a final step, I have a 45-degree carbide cutter, which rotates around the outside edge and chamfers the outside edge of the barrel off at a slight 45. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up, get some oil put on this, and we're going to start cutting. Put some cutting fluid down in the hole just to lube things up there. We're also going to put a tiny bit of cutting oil on the cutter, just a bit. So we're going to take the cutter, put it on the power attachment, and then we're going to take the whole assembly and slide it down over the pilot guide. So once that's on there, just a regular power drill, has an adapter in the top for a hex bit. So I've got one put in the Milwaukee, and we're going to put that in there and start cutting. Very slow. You see pieces of metal coming out. We're going to stop every once in a while and clean the chips away. You can see how the cutter is already flattening out the end of the muzzle. We're going to go a little bit further. There's still some marks there from the hacksaw, so I'm going to clean the chips away, and we're going to keep going. That has left us with a perfectly flat muzzle crown. So next I'm going to take this cutter off, and I have another cutter that's on an 11-degree angle. So that's going to cut the 11-degree target crown. Same process. Here's a view of the two cutters side by side. You can see the one on the right. This is the 0-degree or the 90-degree flat crowning tool. The one on the left is on a bit of an angle, as you can see. That's the 11-degree cutter, and that's going to put our target crown on. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to lube that up. We're going to set this guy aside. We're going to get the 11-degree cutter ready to go here, and we're going to put it on and put that target crown on. Stop, put some more cutting oil on. So as you can see right here, the muzzle is now a bit concave. I'm not 100% sure if it's exactly at 11 degrees here just yet. We're going to clean the chips off, wipe some of the chips away and re-oil it. And we're going to let it go just a little bit longer, just to make sure that we're getting the full 11 degrees. It does appear that it has cut right out to the edge, but I'm going to let it go just a tiny bit longer. It's not going to hurt anything. We'll make a few more turns with it, and then we'll chamfer the outside on a 45. It appears that we got a full cut here now at 11 degrees. So as you can see, the outside edges of this are really sharp right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get the 45-degree cutter set up. And what it does is it turns around the outside edge instead of the top, and it will put a nice 45-degree bevel the whole way around the edge. This is the 45-degree outside chamfer cutter. It's only got one carbide cutter. So I'm going to go ahead and get that oiled up a little bit. And we're going to cut the outside edge here. It goes on the pilot assembly the same way. It's down like that. As you can see, the cutter sits on the outside edge of the barrel. So I'll put the power adapter on the top, and we'll get to turning it here. Chamfer that outside edge. I'm not going to put a lot of chamfer on it, just a bit, enough to clean it up, make it look good. Does a really nice job at cleaning up that outside edge. So I actually have a tool. Manson supplies a tool. It's a polishing bob. So this little bob here, it has a felt pad that sticks to the end. The pad already has a abrasive compound in it, and it's for polishing this 11-degree muzzle cut. As you can see, the bob itself actually isn't flat. It's at an 11-degree to match this cut. Go ahead and stick this on the polishing bob. Like that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean up the pilot. I'm going to get some of the oil off the pilot. We're going to put the pilot back in the muzzle, put the polishing bob on it, and we're going to spin it on the end of the muzzle to polish the machining marks down. looks really good. I'm going to keep going a tiny bit more. That is a perfectly polished and recrowned muzzle. So I just touched up the new crown with a little bit of Brownell's Ox Faux Blue. That is good stuff. If you've never used it, you should try it. It's the best cold bluing that you can get, in my opinion. Anyway, that turned out pretty well perfect.